Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I was looking at a possible dream job in Seattle, Washington this past weekend. But while I was talking to some of the people there, I thought about something that I hadn't had to think about for the last year and a half because I live in Phoenix, Arizona. It was a major drawback of that job. And I remembered that Seattle still has daylight savings time. The interviewer was like, don't forget, we switched to... Anyways, I'm going to have to think hard if I want to go back to that. I mean, I really enjoy my reprieve from having to do that. Now, what do I dislike about daylight savings? And well, first of all, if you live in Seattle, adjusting back is really frustrating because it's already getting darker and darker at 5, at 4:30, and now all of a sudden you want it to get dark at 3:30? This doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It never really did. But more importantly, aside from that, I mean, that you can get around, right? Depending on what you do for a living, you might just want to work earlier and take off earlier. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. The bigger problem is that I don't much like government telling me what time it is, right? Government telling me what time to go to bed, what time to eat. I don't like that. And second, more importantly, I don't like that we're so sheepish. We listen to it. So, I used to believe that when Roosevelt confiscated bismuth back in 1933, that he literally went to people's safety deposit boxes, went to people's homes, and collected it. No, people willingly lined up to turn it in. You know, when we look at these images from the Great Depression, history has spun it to tell us that people went to the bank to withdraw their money. No, they went there to turn it in. That's how funny it is. And we willingly turn in our hour of sleep for some bizarre reason, sheepish attitude. We might not be willing to turn in our precious metals this time around, but we're turning in our timetables, our clocks. And I propose we actually revolt this time, just like you would revolt if Biden told you to turn in your precious metals, right, today, right? I suggest we revolt by refusing to change our clocks and showing up to our appointments at quote-unquote the right time or the wrong time, depending on your perspective, right? Imagine if everybody did that, right? Especially if you have an appointment with a government official of some sort, right? I don't know, right now we're hiring a lot of IRS agents, they're auditing people. I propose that we show up at the wrong time by not adjusting our clocks. I mean, the right time, but from their perspective, the wrong time. Showing up at the right time, and when the IRS agent complains, you complain about daylight savings time and how you revolt against it, right? But if everybody just operated on quote-unquote the right time, right? You know, if you work at a fast food place, or, you know, I'm a professor at Phoenix College. Well, I guess I am going to show up at because we don't adjust our clocks, right? I don't know if I want to protest at this interview in Seattle, but you get the idea, right? We should all go on a protest, right? I tried to do this a few years ago, actually. I was teaching at Washington Technology University, and I tried to, instead of changing my clock, I think I had a class from 6 to 9 standard time, and we were going to go to daylight time. I told the class, you know, next week we're meeting at 5 standard time, and I tried to put all my appointments in standard time and force all the students to do the conversion to highlight just how ridiculous it was, right? But it confused the students too much. I think I actually did have a few students who showed up at the wrong time because it confused the heck out of them. I would email them and say, meet me at 3 standard time. And unfortunately, it was too confusing. But that's because they willingly turn in. They line up and turn in their clocks, turn in their sleep schedules, turn in their sanities. Now, just like they did in 1933, right? And I suggest we revolt. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.